People of Earth, what is up? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn, and this is the C3 Podcast, the place where all Panther fans come together on Tuesday night at 10 p.m., and if they don't come together live in full effect, they download it later, and if they don't, they're missing out. And I'm here with my homeboys. That's right, Joe, that freaking Puerto Rican. What is going on?
Well, man, it is my most favorite night of the week, Tony. We are here to talk Panthers football, a 6-0 Panthers team that is really on a roll. We've won 10 in a row going back to last year, and I am excited for what we have in store for the rest of the season and for the rest of tonight.
We also have Mel Mayock, our friend, our brother, a.k.a. Aaron Ford. He's under the weather, but never under the weather as a fan. We're glad you're back this week with us, Aaron.
Well, what's happening, fellas? Just happy to be back. You know, last week I was up in Canada, cruising around up there doing some business, but happy to be back.
West.
Great. Yeah, I was missing you guys, man. Tuesday nights are not the same when I can't be on the C3 podcast. But, you know, a year ago, what a difference a year makes. A year ago, I think we were having weekly therapy sessions.
We were.
Tonight, we're just having fun. Let's get to it.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about and almost on the dot to playing the Eagles in a blowout of blowouts. You know, I mean, it's just.
You know, Tony, that first play when Jonathan Stewart fumbled the ball, but it wasn't a fumble. Remember, he got like 8 yards, and they thought it was a fumble. I had deja vu flashbacks because last year, first play, D'Angelo Williams fumbled. Oh, and my heart sank. But something different about this team. We're getting the breaks this year.
We are getting the breaks. You know, we got the breaks in 2013 as well. All right. We'll talk about the show. We got plenty to talk about tonight. You guys, this is episode 15.39. We've got two names for the episode. We got the episode name that Joey came up with, Cry Equals Cry, right? Better than Fly Equals Fly. And my show episode, which is on the graphic, is Another Week, Another Win. Either way, both of these, I know one person that's not crying, and if you are crying, they're tears of joy, and that's the Panther Nation. So Carolina's coming off a big primetime win, and Ron Rivera and Cam Newton are excited with the play of this team. The Panthers were able to exact revenge in the primetime butt kicking of the Eagles put on by Carolina last season. We took vengeance for last year's beatdown by Philly, and we returned the favor. We're going to celebrate tonight, guys. We're going to break it down, and we're going to move on to next week where we play the Colts and where it's time to do our part in bringing some bad luck to Indianapolis.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, you can thank Joe and his hard work. Make sure to comment on the show using the hashtag C3 on Twitter. You can drop your comments on YouTube. I'm going to keep an eye on them through the email. So you guys keep an eye on Twitter. You can tweet us either at cat_chronicles or using the hashtag C3. Anyway, it feels to be great. It feels great to be the worst 6-0 team. At Sports Guy Show just tweets in. I like that. All right, let's. I can hear a little echo in mine. It must be my new nifty blue YouTube headphones, Bluetooth headphones. I don't know. Either way, let's get into what's hot.
Austria. Good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
No, I'm just getting warmed up. Here's Charlie facing the fire, and there's George hiding in Big Daddy's pocket.
Dylan and Dylan, because I spit hot fire.
Take a flamethrower to this place.
What's hot on C3? Joey, the Panthers are victims of their own success. We can't win when we win. The pundits excuse our perfect season as having a weak schedule. If we would have lost to the Eagles, these guys would have then they would have gone ahead and said Carolina's not a real contender. What's it take, Joey, to win when you're winning?
It's all a matter of people's perspective, and we're a small market team. We don't have we have a few superstars, some really emerging superstars, and we're a young team, so people just don't really respect us. They claim that we have a soft schedule, and that's the only reason we're winning, and we can't help but play the teams that are on our schedule. We have no control over that whatsoever. So all we can do is go out and win, and as long as we keep doing that, I think eventually we're going to start to gain some respect in the eyes of these so-called professionals and experts.
How soft is this schedule, Mel?
Well, like Tony said, or like Joe said, you can't help but play who you play. And had we lost to those guys, their records would have been a lot better, as Greg Olson had pointed out. So, I mean, you beat Seattle in Seattle. That should have put all of that to bed. You saw what they did to their opponent this past weekend. I mean, that team is good no matter what their record is.
It turns out that our schedule's not as weak as they say, because every team that's undefeated is playing teams like we are. If you look at the numbers, we saw it. Our boy Willie put up a tweet like right away after. It was on Monday. I got so many I can't find it now, but it was basically just pointing out that all the other
opponents,
teams, all the other opponents are playing underperforming teams. So to me, you know what? As I got really no problem with that. I think we're starting to see that people are understanding that the Carolina Panthers are a more balanced team. But here, Joey, this is where most of this credit or lack of credit comes from, is that statistically we may have the best quarterback ever in the history of football. 14 and 24, 197 yards, a rushing TD, 1 in the air, 3 picks. Joey, Cam Newton had one of his worst games of the year when it comes to his QBR rating and these types of things. How bad was it?
It was pretty ugly from the perspective of the offense. Not all on Cam, definitely not all on Cam. He did miss a few throws. One of the picks, I would say, he certainly deserved.
Which one?
I think the Funchess pick was one that he didn't have to throw the ball that hard, and I think if he would have taken off, all he needed was he could have done a softball toss. Not really like that, but comparatively speaking.
No, that's probably what Funchess would need.
Right. we know Cam has a cannon, and he doesn't always have to use it, but he likes to. So as much as it is on Funchess, if Cam lays off that throw a little bit, Funchess makes the catch. Then, well, hopefully, yes.
If he would throw underhand.
Cam had a bad game, I mean, statistically speaking. Yeah. But, I mean, when you look at the stat line, but when you go and actually watch the game, he played well, It's not always pretty with Cam, but it's effective. And he needs a big...
I disagree entirely.
Go ahead. I'd like you to elaborate.
I'm the fanboy here, is that... Yes. All right, first of all, I would say the Funchess pick, yes, we'll put that one on him. You throw that, then all of a sudden you turn this around. You get the Byron Maxwell pick, which was an amazing defensive play. It was a great throw, back shoulder. I mean, it was just a phenomenal play, right? Trip Morgan tweets in and says Funchess just needs to make that catch. Yep. But I would say look, I get it. You threw a missile. The guy, he doesn't have the best hands.
I think confidence too. His confidence isn't there yet.
The one with the Ted Ginn is to call that an interception just shows how ridiculous the NFL has gotten, and how instant replay and all of these things, this going to the grounds, and you've got to it's not a catch if you're.
Nobody knows what a catch is anymore.
No, you don't know.
I can tell you this: is that dude was down.
He was.
And if he wasn't down, that mess was a damn fumble, if anything. So I think that messes it up. Here's where I disagree, Joey, is that and I admit that I am the Cam Newton fanboy. I sharpen my Twitter sword daily in defense of him. I hack foes down, but my point is this: is that I said this, and it was like early in the game. I said Cam is dialed in. He's dialed in. He was making these great throws, these great reads. He has to be the best looking, playing worst quarterback I've ever seen, if this is the case. Like, he does it, the numbers don't translate to how good he's playing. Am I the only person? Am I just...
Hey, when it comes to Cam Newton...
reality.
When it comes to Cam Newton... You ball up the statistics and you throw them out the window. This guy is just, he brings so much to the offense. I mean, you watch that. I watched the Arizona game last night. When it was 3rd and 2, they're limited into what they can do. I mean, Carson Palmer is not a threat whatsoever to run the ball. So he's either going to hand the ball off to Chris Johnson or he's going to throw a slant. But you got Cam Newton. He adds that whole read option, the direct run play that nobody can stop. So you take that, and he has matured so much. He's not forcing things. These turnovers were not bad turnovers. They were not the dumb decisions I've seen him make in previous years. If he makes these kinds of turnovers, I can live with him. But he ran the game last night.
I feel like Joey's right, is that he could have made a better throw with the Funchess, right? But what we have not seen Cam Newton do is make dumb decisions this year. Right. And he has made those when things have gotten intense, when they have got, the pressure is on. And he hasn't done that. Joey, also, that Ted Ginn, if they call that a catch and him down, which they should have, it was just a bad call altogether.
Bad officiating, yes, I agree.
And maybe it's in accordance with the technicalness, the technicalities of the rule, but it's just so damn convoluted. We all saw it. We can all see he's down.
That game we could have blown them out had that gone our way.
Right there. That's on the 3 or whatever on the 5. Yeah. Jonathan Stewart, though, talk about a guy that came to play. He didn't give away any more Vizios, Joe. But he did rush the ball for his best game of the season, 24 times for 125 yards. He was a mean man out there in that game.
Yeah, he did not want to go down. He kept running, turning his feet, standing up.
That's the way he ran last year at the end of the season.
You want to stay running angry, which is great for us because that's what we need. I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning of this season, I said if we don't, the secret to our success will be a run game. And right now we are the #1 ranked running attack in the NFL. I think at 144 yards a game or something like that.
And as long as we're getting it from Jonathan Stewart and not just Cam Newton, I think you're right. And if Jonathan Stewart runs like that the rest of the way, we're going to be real tough to beat. But you know what? Kudos goes to our interior 3. Norwell, Khalil, and the new bowling professional, Trey Turner, picking up 7-10 splits. Those 3 are the most dominant interior 3 in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that wholeheartedly, and it shows with the style of running game we have because we are an inside run team. Mm-hmm. And even Cam takes the ball and runs it inside down at the goal line. But yeah, I am really pleased with what we're seeing there. Stewart is making a big difference for sure. One huge and gigantic question mark I have is why the heck do you bring in Cameron Artis-Payne on a 3rd and 1 in the middle of this, intense battle of a game we have going on? Wasn't that his first carry of the year?
I think it was his only carry, wasn't it? You and I texted each other.
He got a couple when we were either the Texans game at the end or the end of the Jacksonville Jaguars game.
No, his only carry in the Eagles game.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And
Like
I
he
wasn't
could have
sure
been
about the
almost.
season.
It was like, yeah, he might have had 3. All right, so Joey, what bothered you about that? Get into that and tell us what the problem is there.
Just for one, the continuity. You've been running the ball very successfully with Jonathan Stewart. You have a 6'5", 250-pound quarterback,
There you go.
and you need 1 yard. And then you have this rookie who's handled the ball less than a handful of times this year, and you throw him in the middle of this, very intense, high-pressure moment for 1 carry randomly.
Yeah.
He has no chance to get any rhythm, to warm up, nothing. You just throw him in the game. I thought that was a poor decision by Ron. And I don't know, maybe Stewart had something wrong with some equipment or something, but it just seemed like such a random time to put him in. And we didn't see him the rest of the game.
Lynn on Twitter says because Jay Stu was supposedly worn out, according to Ron Rivera, but what about Mike Tolbert there?
Yeah, Mike Tolbert.
How about that touchdown? Was that touchdown not amazing?
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that here. Before we get to that, but let's finish this discussion on Jonathan Stewart, Cameron Artis-Payne. Joey, is your kind of, I guess you're upset or whatever you call this feeling, this confusion. Is it because Cameron Artis-Payne was in the game and we didn't get it, or was it because of the timing of it?
Oh, it was totally the timing. I would like to see a little bit more of Artis-Payne. It's just when. You don't do it at that moment. You're telling me Stewart couldn't go 1 more play, even if you used him as a decoy. You know what I mean?
Why didn't you run Cam there?
Exactly. Why didn't you just hike the ball to Cam and let him, leap over the pile or extend the ball out for the first down or whatever? You know what I mean? You have more options than bringing in a cold, unexperienced running back, is my point.
What we got also, Lynn also sent this on Twitter, guys. This is a picture of Ted Ginn's butt on the ground, football in his hand. How he's not down, we don't know.
Thank you, Lynn. Prove our point there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to me. They are so complicating such an easy thing to do. Whether he called it or not is a very easy call. They're way overcomplicating it.
You could almost just say maybe we should go to college rules in the NFL and just say get 1 foot down. We'll call it. I'm about so sick of it. I'm ready for that. Okay.
I would simplify it.
Moving on, Joey. Actually, Mel, I'll start this off to you. The game was had by the defense. The defense played well. Only giving up 6 points after 3 turnovers. The run defense was pretty stout. Without the 63-yard, if you discount that, it's hard to discount a 63-yard touchdown run. The ever-elusive Darren Sproles was kept in check. Norman kept things quiet. Defensive line got things going. Kuechly and Davis were all over. What do you think about this defensive performance, Mel? How impressed are you?
It was inspiring. It really was. I mean, we have a complete defense. In years past, it was our front 4, our front 7, and then our secondary was kind of weak. But I tell you, Josh Norman is the best cornerback in the league this year. And Peanut Tillman has given some saltiness or some just veteran leadership in that secondary. Even Roman Harper's playing pretty daggone good this year. And then, and then there's there's Aaron Donald's probably the only other defensive tackle that compares to K'Wan Short in the league this year. And I'll tell you what, we got some nice, fresh young guys coming in on the corners. That Dallaire guy's a beast. And
Joey,
we by far have the best linebacking core of anyone.
Oh,
that's a complete defense.
Yeah, it's a non-issue. Joey, KK dominated on this defensive front. Total 3 sacks, a forced fumble, a couple of tackles, maybe like 5 tackles, and he had a beast of a game.
6. Yeah, 6 for the whole game.
6 tackles.
6 tackles, yeah.
Even made Allen look young beside him. Jared Allen had 2 sacks. Maybe could have gotten credit for another
the
one.
timing on his sacks was what was crucial to me.
Yeah.
Because he'd been quiet all game long, really hadn't done anything, and then boom, in the last drive, he gets in there twice. That makes a big difference.
Yep.
What are you seeing out of this defensive front with KK stepping up like this?
It's really impressive to me. What I'm most impressed with, honestly, is how well they played and how much they played in this game in particular. What's his name? Went out, number 97. His name is coming on. It's escaping me right now. Addison went out with the shoulder injury.
That's a
and
big
didn't come
loss.
back. That is a huge loss.
Yeah.
Not only for his ability on the field, but just to have that body in the rotation.
Yeah. Dwan Edwards too also hurt.
We were already down Dwan Edwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then we lose another one. And these guys, there was a point where I felt they were really gassed. But, I was watching, and you could tell Philly, the speed of their offense was beginning to take a toll on the defense. But then our running game really started kicking in, and we held the ball. And when we're running the ball and chewing up clock, our guys really got a chance to rest.
Yeah.
Our defense did. Really got a chance to catch their breath. And when they came back on the field, they were ready to push it, ready to go ahead and wrap things up, so to speak.
All right, there's a couple of things about the defense that, were interesting to me. What for some reason, the defense, it's not how they play specifically and not giving up yards, is that we continue to see this bend but don't break type of defense from the Carolina Panthers that we saw in their defense last year and the year before. They're just not shutting dudes down, but they do seem to be more complete than they have been in the past. I think that the pressure on the defensive line is being generated up the middle, and that is just so disruptive. That may be more disruptive than the ends piercing around because you can't step up.
Right.
And that makes those defensive ends who are not playing particularly well. If you think of Coney Ely is okay, but not making a difference over there. Right. He is playing good against the run. Dallaire, we're not seeing him. He's got, as Grant Hughes, one of our writers, said, he's got one speed, and that's go. And he is either sacking the quarterback or he's 5 steps behind the quarterback.
Right.
But at Sports Guy tweets this, and I think this is a reasonable point to be made. Maybe it's just me, guys, but I thought at time against the Eagles, the defense played especially bad against the pass. And my thoughts on this are, first, you've got Norman, who he's taken away half of the field, right? Yeah. Norman, even on a play that he looked beat, he said he was playing it like that on purpose, and he just like a grasshopper jumped out and batted that ball down. For me, the concerning part is this. There's 2 people, and I'm okay. Well, we saw this. Joey Coleman got exposed. He looked like on a play, I think it was on the Matthews play, it looked like he was out of position or playing far too aggressively up. Peanut Tillman has looked slow to me, and we've seen offenses attack him. They go after him early and often, I feel like, and it hasn't just.
How many yards did we give up? How many passing yards did we give up? Because I thought we played. I had Jordan Matthews on my fantasy team. I got 1 point.
I'll tell you right here is, hold on. I want to say that Sam Bradford, he had 205 yards passing.
And then we gave up.
I'll take that any day of the week.
Sure. And our rushing was pretty good statistically speaking. We did give up that 63-yard run, so that's a huge chunk of their ground game right there.
I think we did sack Bradford 5 times, but here's where I am a little concerned, but not. Is that's the game, and we didn't play well. You know, I mean, if you think about it, that's like kind of the worst defensive performance you're going to get out of this team in different areas. You know, they gave up the big home run. We don't do that. Bradford looked a little bit better than he's had. We didn't have a bunch of picks on him or things like that. To me, what I think it is there's one guy that has not been playing to where we know he can play yet, and it's coming, folks. Just wait. And that is Sticky Wicky. Sticky Wicky has not played particularly well so far this season. I don't think he's played bad. I don't want to say that, but he is.
I think he's trying to find his. I think he's trying to find his spot in the defense now that we got Tillman there.
But you know, he played more snaps outside than he's ever played this year so far in this game. Yeah. So what I think is this: is we know Benet is a difference maker. We've seen it. We've seen him make just phenomenal plays that regular people don't make. He hasn't done that yet. We've seen him on the wrong side of those plays. That's still to come. That's still to come. We know it's going to happen. That's what I think. So to me, like, yeah, if that's the worst you get out of it, if you get Coleman out of position on that play, if you get Benet not playing to his best, and Peanut being a little bit slow, and you still, that's what you give up, that's got to be pretty heartening.
See, I take it the other side, though, guys. I thought we played pretty daggone well. 205 yards passing, giving up 5 sacks. That's pretty daggone good. You know, are we getting to be a little bit of a spoiled fan base on the defensive side?
What do you think, Joe? Are we being spoiled there?
Yeah, I think we are a little bit spoiled. We take, you know, well, let's look at it. Cam had 3 interceptions, right? Not all of them being his fault, but nevertheless, he had 3 interceptions. Our defense gives up 6 points off of those 3 interceptions.
Thank you.
That is being spoiled. Yeah. That is totally being spoiled. Any other
I've seen us play a lot worse than that last year.
Any other team in the league is giving up a minimum of a touchdown out of that. Probably a touchdown and 2 field goals.
Mm-hmm. How much, though, is that us? They're they aren't that good. It's got to be a little bit. If that's Aaron Rodgers, you think that's 6 points?
No. That might be 21 points if that's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. We're going to find out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we are. And that is where I think we will start to get some I'm going to say dignity or some respect from the pundits. If we play like we've been playing defensively and on the ground, I think we can win that game. Even if we don't and we play well, you know, it's a close game.
As long as we don't go out there and get blown out. Yeah, as long as we don't get crushed.
Right, I think that game is going to be our respect game.
I'm going to be disappointed if we don't win it.
Yeah, I am too. I won't lie. I go into that game expecting to win. One of the girls, I think it was Legacy Lines, maybe. But one of them said, one of our listeners said that they weren't as nervous for this Eagles game as they were for the Seattle game, which is definitely the case. And I think since that Seattle game, every game we're going into at this point, we're expecting to win because we know we can. We're good enough. Whereas before, in the past, we questioned that. Is this team good enough?
Yeah.
Now we know we are.
It's a lot more fun this way, isn't it?
And I think this is, and what at Sports Guys Show is alluding to, he tweeted this in about this, is that we're a little bit too vulnerable on 3rd down. And I just looked up the numbers. They did go 7 for 18. We went 2 for 9 on 3rd down conversions. You know, I think this is that the Carolina Panthers, they haven't played fantastic yet. We haven't seen, maybe the Seattle game, I would say that's like our best game so far this season. But what we have done is we found ways to win even when there's these 3 picks. I still hate saying it. I'm sorry. There were not 3 picks.
There were 2 picks. From now on, there were 2 picks.
2 picks.
2
There were
picks.
2 picks in that game. I just don't feel like Cam played that bad, but I guess He did only have 197 yards, 14 for 24. I mean, not great. He didn't run the ball a lot. I didn't feel like.
No, but when he did, he was effective with it.
Right.
Certainly, he had a big run in that game.
And that's
we got to get
need.
moving. One other thing I want to talk about this is because we've talked to plenty. Two things. First, Thomas Davis, brother. That man might have a warrant out for his arrest right now.
He was beating on those Eagles.
Gosh, yeah, I think I wanted to charge him with attempted murder on a couple of those hits.
Mm-hmm.
At least a very assault and battery. He was blowing guys up. Thomas
Assault
Davis,
with intent to bodily injure.
Yes. Joey, what did you see out of Thomas Davis at that age? After those, is he even human?
I think we're seeing him play his best football ever right now. After 11, 12 years in the league, I think he's playing some of his best football. And it's just his strength, inner strength from who he projects himself to be to the fan base here and how good of a person we know he is in the Panthers community. And on the field, he wants to be known as that same kind of a person, just in a football sense, of finishing plays, of keeping his teammates in line and in check, and being, a leader on that team. And he talks about it and he does it. You see the actions. You see it in his actions.
What did you see out of him, Mel?
Well, did you see the pregame interview with him?
No.
Oh, it was pretty freaking awesome. I'm going to tweet it out right now. So for all of you guys listening, just take a look at this picture that I'm going to tweet out. And I mean, he was ready for business.
He like foaming at the mouth?
He was.
He was sweating from the warm-ups. He was ready.
Straight.
That guy here one more time.
Straight cash, homie.
That guy's straight cash on me. Just Jones says TD's found the fountain of youth. Trip tweets in and says Cam had 4 carries, averages 10 so far this season. So reduced. I don't know. I never felt like that game was out of control for the Panthers, even with all the bad stuff going around.
I never felt like we were going to lose that game.
Yeah, I thought Cam was so dialed in the beginning. I mean, throwing those bullets. Even freaking Ted Ginn Jr. was catching balls with his hands. It was crazy.
It was amazing.
Like I never even knew he could do that.
Who's that guy wearing number 19?
And where has he been at all his career for a decade?
What did he do with Ted Ginn?
But I like this guy. Guys, we need to move on, and we need to play a little
funny. Sometimes I just don't get people. Human beings are so weird. Who talks in front of a camera by themselves for fun? We thought that was a good idea. These ideas, some of these things that you use every day. Who's the guy or a girl that was like,
it makes
no sense. Good idea.
That's a good idea.
It is a good idea to play Finish That Thought. We do it each week. That's because it's a good idea. I'm going to start off with one that we haven't talked about much this season. Maybe that's a good thing. There's special teams this season, Joe, has been
much improved, and I think we saw that in Sunday night's game. Last year, Darren Sproles ran a pumpback against us for a touchdown, and that was one of the things that really got the Eagles going, in their offensive display. But that didn't happen this time. Actually, Sproles was kept in check throughout the game. We really didn't see his name was only mentioned a few times, but that goes to speak of how much of an important issue this was for the Panthers. They really addressed it with a new coach, bringing in some different personnel, and because we haven't heard anything about the special teams, we know that they're improved.
Mel, the Panthers special teams this season has been
A lot better than last year. We have not. They have not been the reason that we lost games, obviously, because we haven't lost any. Take that, Atlanta Falcons. But you mentioned the shutting down Darren Sproles. Remember last year, man, who was returning punts for us? It was Clyde's golden boy, Burson, back there looking like a deer in headlights.
No, he was standing back there.
Oh, he was trembling.
Terrified.
He was standing back there shaking, but he won't return in jack.
And hopefully he was catching the punt.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm going to answer this one. The Panthers special teams this season has been out of the news just the way I like them.
There you go.
Unless Ted Ginn starts turning it on and returning punts like Joey said, the less we hear about them, the better.
Right on.
And that's a good thing. All right. Finish that thought, Joe. Funchess with another drop/tip that led to a pick was?
Well, honestly, it was a ball that should have been caught. I really believe that, and I believe had Cam taken a little bit off of it, it would have been caught.
All right. Mel, Funchess with another drop/tip that led to a pick was?
Do you have that audio? I think that little kid in the car could say it better than I can. It was exasperating. It was exasperating.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Oh, that was close enough.
That's
well,
close.
That sums it up.
That sums it up.
Maybe it was this one.
It made no sense. This makes no sense.
That's it.
All right. For me, the Funchess with another drop/tip that led to a pick was just what it took to get him in the coach's doghouse. We know that Ron Rivera and them, like, once they – first of all, Ron Rivera likes to give the nod to the old men, right? Let's just say expect to see a lot of cotchery. I think it's going to take some time for Funchess to work his way out of this, and I think Joe's right. Is that is it all him? But no, but
hey,
he has not.
Trip on Twitter is asking, when are we going to give Norwood a chance, or do you think we will?
Good question.
I don't think he gets a chance. I don't think this team has any interest in him right now, and that's a little disconcerting.
Maybe it's because maybe that's because he hasn't picked up the offense well enough.
But I'll tell you
what in the world, like, what is so damn hard? Come on, it's not like we run like 9,000 hot routes and mess like that.
I agree. We don't have such a complicated passing game. You know what I mean? We really do have a very simple passing
down
game.
There and get ready for this missile.
What did that coach from Make-A-Wish Foundation, that kid, say? He said, "Go deep," right? That's the play.
That is, and that's what we need. We just need somebody that can do that and catch the ball consistently.
Well, we don't know who that is, really. Okay.
Kelvin Benjamin.
We know who it certainly isn't right now, and that's Funchess.
That is correct.
And I think we're seeing frustration with the coaching staff a little bit with him.
But don't give up on him, guys. I mean, there was
I don't know. I'm not going to use the B word on him.
But there was a cornerback on this team just a few years ago that lived in Coach Rivera's doghouse because he couldn't.
That's true.
Right now, he's the best cornerback in the league.
Yeah, you're right. Well, give him time. We'll have to wait a couple of years, I guess. Okay, I don't know. I do have a problem with it. I just feel like, gosh, poor damn Cam Newton. Until he gets receivers that first can catch fastballs, like you got to just go ahead and say this. If you're gonna come play on the Carolina Panthers, you're in the NFL, and you best be ready to catch some damn speeding bullets.
Right.
Like,
coming.
If you got a problem with it, then go back to
go to Atlanta.
Yeah, go to Atlanta. Go to Texas. But I don't know. You're in the NFL. Catch the damn ball. I don't care if it's coming 100 miles an hour.
Right.
You don't need to be. We don't need Greg Maddux back there throwing for the Panthers. Anyway. All right. Finish that thought. In the Panther pantheon of runs, that Tolbert dump pass to bowling ball bouncing big man was Joe.
was a sight to behold because he was like a pinball, boing, 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 and then he crossed the goal line. It was a heck of an effort he put forth. You know, for a big man, he sure does move very sveltly.
Mel, I like that sveltly. In the pantheon of runs that Tolbert don't pass to bowling ball was.
That's an impressive question. Can you say that 5 times fast?
Yes. In the Panther pantheon of runs, the Tolbert don't pass to bowling ball was. In the Panther pantheon of runs, the Tolbert don't pass to bowling ball was. In the Panther pantheon of no, I can't.
No, you can't. That's tough.
Close.
But I think it was Mark Schlereth that tweeted out that he thinks that Tolbert is the word for bowling ball in some foreign language. He's
Like
not sure which
Sanskrit.
one. That was awesome, man. That run ranks up there in my mind with the Deshaun
Don't
Foster
say it.
touchdown.
No, it's not
Yeah.
even close.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
it's
How
not.
many times did Deshaun Foster get hit in that run?
I know. That's what I'm saying is that don't even put Tolbert in the same conversation as the NFC Championship greatest 1-yard run.
He took a shot, though, man. I mean, there at the
Tolbert?
end. Yeah, he took
Tolbert
a
got-
shot.
Oh, he got blown
did.
up, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Actually kind of blew the other guy up back.
I think that
Do
was
I
the
need
best
to-
run of the season in the NFL.
Some dude sent me a tweet right away yesterday that said, it was because Carolina Panthers news, by the way, which I'm not going to support, but I'm not going to unfollow. Anyway, somebody that follows, he put out there, and some people were saying that Tolbert wouldn't make this team or shouldn't make this team. And then somebody tagged me in the tweet and said, you guys. He tagged you too, Mel.
Hey, I
This
said
kid-
he should not have made it as a fullback. Backup running back, absolutely.
Who do I, and I'm not going to call you out because I'll take all the hits for this, right? I'll even take the Tolbert hit.
Good, because his mama is vicious.
Do I need to apologize?
No, because
Um,
what we said is the truth. He is not a fullback. I've seen that as good as that run was. I've seen some awful fullback play where he just runs right by the guy that's going for the running back, or he falls down, or he goes the wrong way. He is not a fullback. He's a very good running back, good short yardage back. Fullback, no. And
And a very
Should I apologize?
I have to agree with Mel. I don't think you owe him an apology because I will admit I was saying I didn't think he should make the team either as fullback. He's a good running back. He's especially short yardage, yes, but he's mostly in there as a blocker when he plays, and he's not very good at it. I mean, let's be honest, he's not very good at it.
I am not going to apologize because of one play, where a guy has 90 rushing yards for the season and 1 touchdown. I'm not going to apologize for that. But I agree. All I'm going to say is this, is consistently what we said is that Mike Tolbert is a running back. We were consistent on this point, is calling him a fullback is simply calling him fat. That's it.
we were simply sticking up for fat people everywhere.
We were anti-bullying. That's what that
Anti-bullying,
was.
That's right.
That was anti-bullying. Bullying is a real problem in America from what I hear. All right? And I'm not going to take it, man who says that calls Tolbert fat. I'm not apologizing.
I agree.
I did celebrate like a crazy-ass person when he did that mess up. But I just said back to him on Twitter, I said, I've consistently said he is a running back, and I see nothing in this play that suggests otherwise.
Yeah, what other fullback does that? No.
What other running back does that, right? Good Lord, that thing was awesome. All right. Joe, I might be buying a new house, and I was thinking about going to Amazon.com to do it. That would be awesome if you could. What do you think?
Awesome.
Would they ship it to me? Is that the only house I can afford? Comes in a little box?
They would ship it to you using one of those drones. That's how they get it to you, piece by piece.
Piece by piece, shingle by shingle.
You can go online and check out CarolinaCatChronicles.com, the #1 fan site for all your Carolina Panthers news and perspectives. And while you're there, if you want to do some shopping, not for a house per se, but just for a gift, Christmas isn't all that far away, gentlemen. If you really think about it, it's not all that far away. We want to do some early Christmas shopping or just look for a gift for someone you love. Amazon.com is the way to do it, and you can reach Amazon going through our website, CarolinaCatChronicles.com. So make sure when you're perusing our site and checking out our CamWows, our Panthers 3-peat tees, if you're looking for something else, just go right there to the shop tab, click it, and click on Amazon, and we'll take you right there.
I want to say this, and we need to hold. We were talking about before the show doing some Facebook ads, particularly for the CamWow or the 3-peat shirt. And I got to say, when I've been tweeting out or saying something about the shirt, the 3-peat shirt, I said we printed them because we believe.
Mm-hmm.
You buying it says you know it's going to happen. Right? I mean, like, that's what I feel like, is we had the balls to print a 3-peat shirt before the season started. Come on, folks. Go online, buy your 3-peat shirt, buy your CamWow, help us out. We are growing, and we are having bills. The Squarespace just sent me the bill today. So
yes,
we got to pay these damn bills somehow. And if not, you can even be just crazy and go to the website. And I think if you scroll down far enough, I hit it, because I don't want to be that guy. There might even be a donate button, but let's move on. Let's move on to talking about the Colts, guys, because we are moving slow. We are like a slow Mike Tolbert locomotive tonight. Colts writer Stephen Holder asked Andrew Luck after their another loss. We're playing the Colts Monday night. And before we get into this, guys, how tough is it playing in the prime time? I actually don't want us to have primetime games. Am I the only guy that's like that?
I think so. I want primetime games because I want the exposure for the team. It's one thing when you're on primetime and your team is awful and you're losing, but we should be winning our primetime games now. I'm glad that we play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, because that's really going to be a good chance for us.
Oh, well, I would take that one, because you know what I don't have to do the next day, Joey? Work.
Right.
Mel, do you like the primetime games? Because I'm not a fan, because I felt like ass on Monday.
You know, I have never liked Mondays, period, but staying up late, and here I am out here on the West Coast, right? So, I mean, the game was over at like 9:30.
You were still up past your bedtime.
That's true. That's true. So, no, I don't like the primetime games. But I'm with Joey. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving, man, having some turkey and a little bit of cowboy butt on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Forward to it.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope we just, like, I hope Trey Turner just, like, bowls over Greg Hardy or somebody.
Did y'all see that play where Trey Turner just lifted that guy up in the air, threw him into another eagle? It was like a 7-10 split in bowling. What a great block.
Amazing.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know how much of it was planned, but it sure did work out well.
Yeah, it did. 2 for 1.
I just know that the draft beer catches up to you when you've only had like 5.5 hours of sleep. Let's just put it that way, because by that game, I didn't get home till midnight. You know, and by the time you're in bed and all of that, I mean, I'm up at 6 o'clock, boom, back at work. Oh, it was awful. Awful. Wore the Panthers. I felt like, and you know what? I think I'm just getting old. I didn't drink like a ton, but it was just, anyway. Let's move on to the Colts game, guys. We do have another one. They told me to save up my energy because Monday night we got another primetime game against the Indianapolis Colts. What we thought would be this devastating streak. By the way, we went into a streak. We entered a 4-game stretch. Seattle, Philadelphia, Indianapolis, Green Bay, saying if we come out 2-2, we're happy. Right now, we're 2-0, folks. Looking to go against a struggling, just mess of a team with the Indianapolis Colts. Mel, what do you think about this Colts matchup on Monday night?
Well, I don't want to take them for granted because as much as I dislike Andrew Luck, he can get hot, But they're a mess of a team, like you said, and I will be disappointed if we don't beat this team. You saw what the Saints did to them, took them, all the way down to the end. So, I think we're gonna give it to them. We're gonna make Andrew Luck regret not wanting to come to Charlotte a few years back.
Joey, is this a trap?
I don't think so. In years past, I might have thought that, but I don't think so with this game. The Colts are struggling defensively, offensively. They have no offensive line. A good bit of their position players, are older veterans. They're just lacking in many, many places. Andrew Luck is hurt. He's not playing well. I've heard them say that they have a better chance to beat us with the old man than Andrew Luck.
With Hasselbeck.
Yeah,
whichever one. I don't remember his name. I always call Matt, whatever.
Yeah.
The other one?
Tim.
Yeah, Tim, his brother. Tim. Matt is a player. Tim is the broadcaster.
Tim is the husband of the broadcaster on Fox News.
Exactly. Well, I think.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying. Either way, I was about to say he's married to a Fox Sports analyst.
Not Fox Sports.
Way to go. All right. Here, Joey, Stephen Holder, Colts reporter, said this. I asked Andrew Luck, forward and backward, what's wrong? He's at a total loss right now. Can see it in his face. He insists he's healthy, and I think he's throwing the ball with adequate velocity, but it doesn't look like he trusts his arm at times. Am I the only person, Joey, that finds a little satisfaction in this?
No, I don't think so. I know I do.
Well, I don't.
Why not?
Why not?
Because I find a lot of satisfaction in this.
Well played. Fair enough. I think this is something that's his comeuppance because of how highly touted he was when he first came in the league and how he was going to change the face of football, and they were putting him in the Hall of Fame already, and all this stuff while Cam was being trashed by everyone. Cam was the one working hard on his game. He was struggling with a team that didn't have much talent, with a new coach. They had Andrew Luck, the golden boy, with the coach that had cancer and came back. And, they had all these wonderful things going on. But now, a little adversity, and Andrew Luck is lost. He doesn't know his backside from a hole in the ground.
What adversity, too? That's my question. They play in the AFC South.
I know. They have.
Where is
he's got
the
a little
adversity?
Really,
it's
self-made.
Is it shaving?
It's self-made. Yes, and it's shaving for sure.
It's like trying to get. He joined the Dollar Shave Club, and it turned out they wouldn't let him in. Is that the adversity?
They gave him 50 cents back.
Charged him $2.
He is dinged up. Like I said, their skill positions, they've got old people there. Andre Johnson, Frank Gore, those guys are on the backside of their careers.
But you know what? That's no excuse. I mean, wouldn't we love to have T.Y. Hilton?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
How about this? Is that let's just put it this way: is that there ain't gonna be that sympathy for Cam Newton anywhere, obviously, because he's the best, worst quarterback ever. At Sports Guys Show brought this up, guys. This game is such a highly touted game that tickets are going for face value right now. So if you are going to go buy one of those face value tickets, I suggest you go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Look for that adorable little monster who is represented by the Ticket Monster. Click on that, and you get your tickets with no fees, no shipping. You print them out right there, just like better than Ticketmaster because there's no fees, same prices, and they even say, hey, thank you, C3. We might even help you with 50 cents for your website. And even if it's Andrew Luck's 50 cents from the Dollar Shave Club, I'll take it.
Right.
We will take it. I'll pick it up. Joey, this is how bad things have gotten there. Going off of Stephen Holder, reactions to their loss against the States, he says this. He says, this isn't great insight, but in the locker room, so he's after the game and he's tweeting this, I see a team with no answers. Can't clean it up. Can't explain it. Can't find their way. Joey, are you worried that a team that with nothing to lose in the back in the corner, this kind of is this the rabid squirrel in the corner or whatever the hell the analogy is just scraping and clawing for anything? Does that worry you at all?
No, I think, if you look at just pure talent, and if you look at the way we've been playing and the way they've been playing, we're looking at our season game by game. We're not looking ahead. We're not trying to play, the Packers this week. We're focused on our opponent for the week, and we take it game by game, week by week in this season. Whereas they are in a panic mode. They are in a must-win kind of situation. And just think, if we get on top of them early, we can close this game out. We can mentally break them. We can mentally break them early, and then go in and get the win.
Mel, is this concerning to you? A team that can't find any answers is just going to throw everything at the wall. Are you worried that they catch us off guard?
Yeah, I got to say I'm a little worried because if people in the Panthers locker room start to buy into the hype, 6-0. Oh, we're good, and then they go out and they relax even just a little bit. As much as I dislike Andrew Luck, he does have skills, and he's going to have a get-right game, and he's capable of throwing for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and we don't want to be his get-right game.
Right. That's where our leadership comes in. That's where the guys like Thomas Davis, Charles Johnson, even a young Luke Kuechly understand that it's a week-by-week process. Ron Rivera, I think, is really emphasizing to these guys game by game. No matter who says what about this team, game by game. And that's how we need to approach it.
I'm not going to worry about this matchup, too. Is that, am I worried that we could beat ourselves? Sure. Are we worried that we could be caught with our, flat-footed? Maybe. But this is what I'm not worried about. And this is why the Colts are losing. The Colts have a shit defense, right? We know that. Even if they're playing a little bit better, they still stink. Their offense is inconsistent. Even if the offense was great, shit defenses don't win in the NFL. No matter what people say, it has to be the best offense ever to win. It's just consistently every day we have what I would prefer, which is a good defense and an average offense. I'd rather have a good defense and an average offense than a good offense and a average to below average defense. Yes. Because we have the one thing that stifles dudes like Andrew Luck is that they could get rolling against a team that doesn't have a good defense. It's going to be much tougher for them to do that against us. I feel like the Panthers are playing poised right now. Even though Cam Newton had a tough off game, he's looked poised to me. I'm telling you, I watch the games, I don't see it. I don't see the bad. I don't see the stat line. I see something better out there. And so I'm feeling good. And you know me, Joey. People make fun. Our boy T Money, straight facts, always be making fun of me because I am a nervous Nelly.
Right.
And
I think you said it best when you said poised, because he is playing poised. The old Cam Newton, the immature Cam Newton, would have pouted throwing interceptions and coming off the field, after a bad series. Yeah, now he knows, hey, I get another chance to go back out there because I've got this good defense that, plays behind me. I'm going to get the ball back at some point, and I get a chance to redeem myself. And I don't have to do it all by myself. I don't have to do it all on one play. And that's, I think, the biggest difference that we see in Cam Newton.
All right. Other thing, too, I think to note, we've got a lot of things we've got to hit because people on Twitter are posing some great points. But before we get to those, it looks like one of the big problems for them continues to be their offensive line, guys. Todd Herremans and Lance Lewis were benched after their opening day starts. Those were their guards. Jack Meort was removed from right tackle to left guard. And even the Saints sacked Luck 4 times and hit him 10 times. Guys, I think that this plays to us really well. What we have is, unless the rotation is slowing down because of the Addison and Dewan Edwards injury, we can get after this guy. And he's susceptible to turnovers. You're talking about Kuechly and Davis and Norman making, and maybe Ben Wickery showing up. I feel good about this matchup. I feel like this is that, yes, do we always need to be concerned with maybe Andrew Luck? I'm not, but maybe we do. But it seems like this team's strengths, our team's strengths, match their weaknesses very well.
But as Missy Russell out on Twitter points out, you can't sleep on any team. You got to always be a little nervous, at least.
Yeah, I don't think you go in expecting to win. I think you go in knowing that you're going to have to go out there and earn it.
Yep.
You know, this game isn't going to be given to you. You're going to have to go out there and earn it.
All right, I got one Twitter question, and then we'll move on to Fact or Fiction. And Joan tweets in too, so this is related to this. She's responding to it for us. Thank you, Joan. Is, should the Panthers trade for a receiver or just use the people we have now? You know, we're getting close to that being a real question. And I don't know when the trade deadline is, so I know that like getting close to the deadline is what would make that question a real question. But guys, 6-0. This is a real team. At what point do you say we ride with the guys or we actually try to ride this wave to the end? Joey, do you see this being a need?
I think you go with the guys. I think you go with the guys that got you there. What is it? You dance with the girl you took to the. You dance with the girl you took to the dance.
Right. Mel, how do you feel about this?
Oh, I got mixed feelings, man. I mean, I know it's not going to happen. So, there's strong opinions on both sides, but how would you love to have number 89 come back and finish his career here and finish out with a Super Bowl in Carolina?
I wouldn't like it at all.
Yeah, you're crazy. If it happens, I think you would.
Oh, if we won, look, that's what he was doing.
That's my fat head up on the wall there.
I'm starting to be pissed off by him.
When he's on your team,
I've been worn down by him. I have been worn down by him, and not by his. I don't know, man. Joey, am I the only one that's like that?
He's
exhausting. He's not even in my damn city anymore, and he's exhausting.
But he's good, man.
He is, and it's amazing that he's still as good as he is at his age, and he's played a lot of football. You know, it's not like he rode the bench for a long time.
Wow, Missy said the trade deadline is Tuesday. She thinks.
Yeah.
And Bolden's another.
It's not going to happen though.
Yeah, and Bolden is a name that I've heard mentioned a bunch.
I wouldn't mess with that.
Yeah, I just don't think so, man. I think if you bring in somebody, you're messing with the chemistry of the team.
Yeah.
And the team's already gotten to this point without having a receiver.
Yeah, they're clicking.
Yeah, so don't do anything to screw it up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I sound like my wife. I can't believe I just said that.
Don't do anything to screw it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Well, I won't do anything to screw it up because that would be the.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Thank you. I agree.
All right. Backdoor fiction. We're 7 minutes overdue, folks. We got to press on. Factor fiction, guys. I got 3. I even have one. I'm adding it in. Cam Newton is playing badly, and we are too big of fanboys to see it. Fact or fiction, Mel?
Absolute fiction. I mean, I've watched him every game of his career. He's had bad games, and I've been the one to be frustrated, throwing it high, throwing it off his back foot, forcing it down the field. He's not doing that this year. He's had some turnovers, but he doesn't have the weapons. But he's making smart decisions. He's checking down in the right spots. He's a dual threat. Man, I'll take him over any quarterback not named Aaron Rodgers in the league today.
Guys, at Sports Guy Show says the trade deadline is in week 9, and if we are going to trade for wide receiver, give the Lions 2 first-round picks and trade for Megatron. I tweeted him back and said I would turn gay for that. Sorry. I mean, I'm like 100% serious too.
But, I mean, he's got the biggest salary of any wide receiver, and he's on the very back end of his career. Would you really do that?
Megatron?
For the last 10 games? Fuck yeah. Would I really turn gay for that? Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, yeah. But you're going to carry his what, $20 million contract next year?
I don't care if it's just for this year. We cut
but
him.
That doesn't work that way, though. You don't get him just for this year. You got to take him.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. We got yes, and yes. Kelvin Benjamin, Megatron. Yes.
So you're gonna let Josh Norman and KK Short go next year because you can't afford him because you got Megatron on the team.
I think we can afford to sign all of them mugs.
Okay.
All right, maybe. Oh, God. Missy says she wants pics for proof. Oh. Alice, now you want to make me a porn star, too. Just a fluffer here. Just a fluffer.
Oh, nice.
Gosh. Okay, the Panthers.
The Bears
Joe,
now.
I think it's on you, Joey. I've only had 2 beers tonight, so I'm good. Cam Newton is playing badly, and we're too big of fanboys to see it. Fact or fiction?
No, I think that's fiction. He's had bad games, but we're winning, so he can't be playing, but only so badly. And we're winning, so that's fiction.
I'm going to say it's total fiction. I mean, it's the stupid even factor fiction because I know each week it's just crazy. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't believe he's playing bad. I don't care what the stats say. All right. Fact or fiction, Joe. The Panthers' defensive line is the best it's been since 2013, excuse me.
I got to say that's a fact. We are getting to the quarterback, and, it's weird because we have
no Charles Johnson.
Right, we don't have any real names that jump out at you. Jared Allen, yes, and names that we know, but KK is a young guy. We're a young team, and I think that's what it is. We're so young; it's surprising that we're as good as we are.
These people on Twitter are giving me a hard time now. What did I do?
Well, you brought that on, Professor.
Yeah, I know. I brought it up. Totally, I did. Totally walk backwards into that one. Hey. All right. Last factor fiction. No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just if it isn't your thing, you don't got. I mean, hey, I was born this way.
All right.
Last factor fiction. Chuck Pagano says we can't beat ourselves. Factor fiction.
I'll take that one first. I'm gonna say that's fiction for his part because he's already proven that he can. He's already proven that they can beat themselves.
Yeah. Joe. Factor fiction. We can't beat ourselves.
I think That is.
There's only one answer to this.
Yeah, it is fiction.
Yeah, we all saw it. They all beat themselves, and it doesn't matter if they didn't beat themselves or not. They could suck, but they still ran the dumbest play in the history of football. And by the way,
that was so dumb.
T-Money brought this up, is that he said, don't worry, there's an argument. He said this, doesn't worry me because GM, head coach, and maybe even quarterback has lost this team. And I'm with him. I mean, you can at least say the coach is done, the GM is done. Like, I mean, Andrew Luck's the only one, and he still doesn't have a contract. So,
man, has he picked a bad time to play badly?
Yes, and probably the worst time. He should. Yeah. Well, that, you know what? He doesn't make the best decisions, obviously, since he throws so many picks. Joey, that's the end of the show. We still got to do some ice up picks, but before we do that, tell them where they can find our work at.
You can go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com, and what we do there is take the fans' perspective on whatever Panthers topic happens to be hot at the moment. We do our own NFL power rankings. We do a division by division breakdown. We have this podcast will be there, and we have an archive section where you can go and listen to older podcasts. If it has to do with the Panthers and a fan's perspective, you will find it at CarolinaCatChronicles.com. By fans, for fans.
Well played, sir. All right, it is time for our favorite segment. The Ice Up segment of the week, where we tell somebody to toughen up to ice up. And actually, it feels like this. Tony is always like an eligible candidate for the Ice Up section by this point of the show. Joey, do you got an Ice Up pick for us this week?
I do have an Ice Up pick, but I was wanting to let Mel go first. It's his, since he hasn't been on.
Okay, his debut. Let him go.
Right on. All right. Well, we've been talking about him all show. Yeah, we have. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the picture here. If you're listening to it on the podcast,
very flattering.
It is. It's the only one that we could get that actually made him look like his true self, I think. For those out there on podcast,
it's the one the Dollar Shave Club reference.
Oh, that looks so bad.
Exactly. But hey, in a week when we're leading up to play Mr. Andrew Luck on Monday night, this is a guy that 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, everybody was saying he was the guy to change a franchise. If he comes to Charlotte, Charlotte would be put on the map as a franchise. It would be taken into the future on greatness's back. Mm-hmm. This was our savior. And then he turned around and said, no, I don't want to go there. I'm going back to Stanford for a year. Then in came Cam Newton, and I think part of the reason that some of the Charlotte fan base is kind of ill on Cam Newton is they had their appetite whetted that they were going to have the next great perfect passing quarterback, the stereotypical stand in the pocket perfect quarterback in Andrew Luck, who turned us down, and then we had to settle for Cam Newton. Well, guess what? I am more than thrilled that we have Cam Newton as the Carolina Panthers leader into the future, and your caveman self is stuck up there with no offensive line, old guys out there in Andrew Johnson who's not living up to the hype. I'd rather have Cotchery than Johnson. Our defense is a heck of a lot better than anything you got going on up there at the Colts. So, Andrew Luck, we're going to see you Monday night, baby. And you better ice up before the game just so you can make it through the game, son. Talking trash and then coming into the Queen City, ice up, son.
Joey, we got a guest ice up, son pick from at Sports Guy Show. Rodney, Panthers hater Harrison is ice up pick. Yeah, and you know what? He's on permanent ice for me. Like, you know, he's in the morgue ice to me. That dude's dead to me. I hate that.
He's just so bitter from the Super Bowl, and I don't know why. Because
why? He won, asshole.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, he must feel guilty because he knows that they deflated the ball that Casey kicked out of
Right, and they spied on us.
And they spied on us throughout the week.
Yeah, so that's probably what it is.
You know what I would do if I was a cheater? I would tuck my head down and not bring attention to myself. What a mess. All right, Joe, who's your ice up pick of the week?
The candidate I have for my ice up pick is a perfect example of the spoiled and appreciative crybabies that turn people away from the professional game. And truthfully, that's what this is all about, being a professional. Ryan Mallett was a big-time QB in a big-time conference. He was a darling of his school, drafted by New England. He studied under Tom Brady. Really, he had it made. Can you imagine a better job than being the third-string quarterback on a Patriots team? The offensive coordinator / quarterback coach at the time when Mallett was selected by the Patriots was Bill O'Brien, who was the biggest advocate for drafting the young quarterback. After turning around the Penn State program in the wake of the Jerry Sandusky scandal, O'Brien was given the Texans job. He brought in the very quarterback he petitioned for as a member of the Patriots coaching staff on August 31st, 2014. So this talented but not highly touted quarterback gets drafted by the premier pro football club because the quarterback's coach / offensive coordinator wanted him. He gets paid to sit and watch pro football games at the field level, work out with world-class equipment, nutrition and nutritionists, travel on the team's dime, eat gourmet quality food at the facility, and live a very comfortable life. Mallett leaves New England for the opportunity to go and start his own legacy with his coach. He does okay when given the opportunity in 2014, but an injury cut short a season. In 2015, the Texans bring in Brian Hoyer to compete with Mallett for the starting quarterback job. Mallett didn't like the idea of having to compete for the right to quarterback the team. So he throws a fit. Yeah, he throws a fit out by oversleeping, and I say that very sarcastically, and not showing up for the team's training camp session. Right, comes in, apologizes, says it won't ever happen again. Well, this past week, he one-upped himself by missing the team's chartered flight to Miami, so he had to fly commercial and cover the cost out of his own pocket. But justice was served today. He was cut by the Texans, and rightfully so. I suggest to all the other NFL teams to leave this guy alone. He's not deserving of being in the league. Crybabies do not make good football players. Ice up, Ryan Mallett.
Ice up, son. Well played, Joe. Joe brought it. I want to give a shout-out to all the people listening tonight. We had a great turnout for the show. Usual fans, usual suspects here. We're also getting acclaim all across the world. We have listeners and friends and family in Great Britain, right? Who you got to say?
Shout out to our boy Jay Cryer.
Yes, sir.
And, shout out to Soren Peterson of Denmark, who wrote in a good question that we're going to get to hopefully next week about should the Panthers have kept Gary Barnidge. I meant to put it in a fact or fiction, but I got carried away with Megatron. You know,
Barnidge is coming of age, man. Coming of age. I like that guy.
All right, my Ice Up Son of the week goes to New York Giants fans, particularly. I got two of them in particular I want to ice up. One is Philip Spyler.
Oh, that ain't right, man.
Spyler 314. So Jason Pierre-Paul signs a one-year incentive-laden contract. And this is the thank you he gets on Twitter right here. Yay, JPP. And if you're listening later on the show, it is one of those number one thumb finger things that you see at the game. And they cut it off. That was one, right? And so it is a fingerless foam finger, right? And my other goes to... This one goes to Dr. Squeak McQueen. You can reach him at bartender, at 41 bartender. And There's a picture of JPP signing his contract, and he said, "Oh, so cute. He is finger painting." Guys, I hate that we chuckle to these things. You know what? I really feel bad for Jason Pierre-Paul. Unfortunate kind of accident. My man was about to make so much money, and then it goes away. And you know what? So many of us have made mistakes at inopportune times in our lives. But Twitter gives us the opportunity to make complete and utter fools of ourselves in the process, picking on people. And while I understand there's some frustration among the New York Giants fan base, kind of, I guess, you're the assholes that got 5 fingers, and he doesn't on his hand. So, you know what? Show some class and ice up, son. Nice. This is the C3 Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where Tony makes a fool out of himself on Tuesday nights. Joe, you got anything else you want to say?
I would like to say that tomorrow night you can catch the Southbound and Down podcast, where me and a panel of guests will take a really close look at the NFC South and give you our perspective. And also, Panther fans in the Charleston area, Monday night we'll be gathering at Southside 17 in North Charleston and RBC Chicken and Pub upstairs in the Panthers Cave in Mount Pleasant. Check us out.
Mel. Not going to be... Are you going to be on the show next week?
No, not going to be there next week, but 2 weeks from tonight I'll be in Maui, live and in action on the show.
Wow.
Back in 2 weeks.
Mel's going to the Pro Bowl.
Mel's going to Hawaii.
I'm so jealous.
That's it.
Yeah, well, this is the C3 Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. You can check us out on Twitter at @cat_Chronicles. You can check our work out at clearly CarolinaCatChronicles.com. You can buy shit off of Amazon. That would be awesome. You can buy a C3P shirt. That would be even awesomer. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. You are our favorite, because this is what we do it for. Because all we are some fans drinking some beer and having some fun, talking mad smack. So we'll see you next week.
Peace out.